Hello, I'm doing Fmcsa record retention and record keeping on how to keep all your maintenance file in order. Um, so the basics that's required is for you to keep um, all your documents in one place. When I say one place, in a place of business, obviously, a regional office. Um, Basically a location that drivers could go and report to and to submit all the documents um, available there. Um, I said most documents need to be turned in within 48 hours. Uh, if if uh, if uh, uh, if your drivers are able to, it's best to have them stored within 48 hours of proof of delivery, or any required documents that need to be stored and structured. Documents can be scanned. They can be photocopied. Um, they also have to be legible as and they have to be as original as possible, and with signatures that show. You could also, um, if for safekeeping, you could store them away after scanning for a certain amount of period, and then you might dispose of them. But a copy which has been scanned is always required to be on file. So any proof of accidents or any accident that happened, all the documents are required to be stored in the place of business as well. All the MCS 90, MCS 82, all those, the proof of insurance, all those that that are uh, that are within the insurance context everything need to be stored. The receipts, files, everything that's needed needs to be stored. So now let's talk about um, the document retention for the driver qualification file. Driver's application is required to be. You have to keep it for 3 years. The motor vehicle report has to be 3 years as well. The road test, which the driver takes prior to being employed, has to be kept for 3 years as well. And uh, and the safety performance prior to the hire date, uh, and also the ones from the previous employer has to be kept for 3 years plus as well. Um, the annual MVR and annual review of the driver record has to be 3 years as well, and and the yearly list of violation have to be kept 3 years as well, and the medical examiner certificate has to be kept 3 years as well. And all these that I just mentioned, they all go on the driver file. So the driver file has to have the driver qualification, the motor vehicle report, the road test, safety performance, annual MVR, and annual review of driving record, annual list of violation, and the medical card. All has to be kept or retained for 3 years. Also, the retention for the drug and alcohol, any negative or cancel test has to be kept for 1 year from that date of the negative results. And any positive test, any record of refusal, a driver not wanting to take a test, or refusing to perform record of duty, all those has to be kept for 5 years. And any documentation on previous pre-employment tests, those as well. The ones that had violation noted, those has to be kept for 5 years, and the ones without any violation noted has to be kept for 3 years. Um, any DOT um, drug and alcohol policies that you have in place um, has to be kept for 5 years. Uh, if it has been replaced or canceled, you have to keep the previous um, um, documents for at least 5 years of the policies that you used to have. Any driver roster, which is the roster of your driver or list of your drivers for the random pool or random drug testing pool has to be kept for 2 years. The name selected for random drug and alcohol test has to be kept for 2 years. Uh, a list of keeping a track of who was tested has to be kept for 2 years. Um, the love summary of all your drivers, that concludes what happened. If any negatives or positive, that list has to be kept for 5 years. And any contracts of whom you worked with has to be kept for 5 years as well. Um, the drug and alcohol training which the supervisors have to take, the test was they have to take, that test results has to be kept for 2 years. And any supervisor suspicion uh, of any sort uh, that their med drivers take a test, those has to be kept for 2 years. Um, any breath alcohol or urine, any, any process that was collected through the in-house, as in within the company, has to be kept for 2 years as well. Now let's go to the hours of service. Um, the complete record of duty and delinquent, uh, or actually, drivers must have the. Let's do this first. Edit that person. Drivers must have complete record of driver status. They have to carry a copy of the previous 7 days worth of log with them for inspection. So any days uh, uh, the previous 7 days has to be kept along with the driver, but anything else has to be turned into the motor carrier. Um, a driver a driver must submit the original logs to the motor carrier within 13 days of their completion. The motor carrier, they have to keep the supporting documents for from 6 months from the receiving date they received them. 6 months to 6.5 months. 6 months, you have to retain both logs and e-logs for the previous 6 months. And any supporting document, just any record that was generated and maintained during the course of business, have to be kept as well. Um, any useful information that verify information recorded on the logs have to be kept as well, and they must be maintained in a usable format. In event that an audit happened, uh, they have to be available. You have to make sure they're in a place where you could get them within 48 hours. Um, an example of supporting document, I list that up like accident, bill of lading, delivery receipt, dispatch record, freight bills, gate receipt, lumper receipts, toll bills, onboarding computer reports, overweight and scales and citations, um, uh, settlement sheets, ports of entry reports, phone bill statement, traffic citation, weight scales, e-mobile communication. All those could be kept as supporting documents. So the hours service driver must report for duty each day. Um, he has to have his total hours of driving, um, and anytime he was released from duty each day, and then the total time preceding 7 days. Any payroll and time records has to be kept for 6 months. Now we're going to talk about vehicle repairs and maintenance record, how to keep those in order. Um, so each file has to you have to create files for each truck, and they must have the identification number or VIN. They have to have the company number of the truck, name of the truck, the make, serial number, year, and tire size on the file. And that's the cover page that should be in front of the file. If the motor carrier is not uh, if or just the person that handles your safety criteria, they must have those files and as I listed, the VIN, company name, make, serial number, year. They must be in the front of whoever handles your maintenance uh, and your records. And any inspections that was done must be maintained also. And any maintenance that are going to be operated in the future must be written and maintained as well. Any record of inspections of the truck has to be maintained. Any repairs has to be maintained in that file that indicates the date and the nature and what was all repaired. Yeah, and then so the next is going to be the vehicle inspection, repairs, and maintenance again. Uh, so just any major repairs, I'm going to emphasize again, has to be kept in file, and those and any record of repairs has to be for 12 months, has to be kept for 12 months. Um, and anytime a vehicle is sold, it has to at least be kept for 6 months. Uh, 6 months from when the vehicle leaves your uh, premises or when the date it was sold. Um, so at least 6 months, but if better, a whole year. Vehicle inspections happens. through state program roadside inspection, or if you personally take your vehicles in to get inspected. Annual inspections, they have to be done. They have to be performed by someone that's actually qualified to inspect trucks. And after that, the inspection reports must be maintained. And those inspection reports should show the name of the inspector, the motor carrier name, the date, vehicle, the components that were inspected as well. And those inspections had to be kept for 14 months of the completion uh, report date. And during a roadside inspection, uh, the vehicle must have a copy of the report, a decode with the information that shows that it was inspected in the past, or it has the annual inspections or monthly inspections if you uh, do in-house. But the required one is the yearly registration inspection or inspection of the truck. During a roadside inspection, driver must turn form all those inspection report to their carrier within 24 hours. If not received within 24 hours, driver must fax or mail the forms to the carrier. And if there's any repairs that needs to be done due to the inspection, uh, um, the motor carrier should be notified immediately, and those files must be kept for 12 months. Also, during a vehicle inspection and repair, they should be documented the post inspection and during the pre-inspection as well. All those should be documented, and that the repairs were done in between that time. While fixing the repairs, and those pre-trip inspection and post-trip inspection following the road inspection has to be kept for 3 months. So if there's any repairs that were done, has to be kept, or the pre-trip inspection review, what you do afterwards in the post have to be kept for 3 months. If any, uh, the evidence of annual inspectors must show he is capable. It has to show he was trained and both has experience. So he has to have some type of certificate, and those documents are kept up to a year after the individual performs the inspection, and the location that the inspection was done as well. And the next one is the evidence of a brake inspector could whoever checks your brakes, that inspector must show he was capable, and also those his credentials should be kept for a year in the place that the inspection was done.